So sorry about that, everyone. Okay, once again, Miss Odom, could you start over your presentation? Okay, oops, let me ask to unmute you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, so it's fine. Technical difficulties, it happens. So what I was saying is that we're going to talk about protective styles, mainly wigs tonight, and how to care for your own hair underneath the wig, as well as I want to show you some wigs that represent natural texture hair. And so I came up with this idea because the last class that we did, there was a question that was posed about how to transition to natural hair. And I never want to assume that everyone knows what transitioning is, but it's basically when you have been relaxing your hair and you want to get rid of the relaxer, which makes your hair straight, chemically straightens your hair, and you want to just wear it curly. And so in order to do that, to get rid of the two different textures, because they're literally total opposite, relaxed hair, super straight, naturally textured hair has a curl pattern to it. You can do things like wear your hair in rods. That's a great style for transitioning. You could wear your hair in braids. You could do sew-ins. All of those things are great. They're wonderful for transitioning. If you don't want to do what's called the big chop, and the big chop is where you grow your hair out and you cut out the relaxer and you just wear your hair naturally curly. So just a few terms that you may hear in the natural hair community: big chop, which I just explained, and transitioning, 2 terms. And so first of all, you want to prepare your own hair. And you can prepare your hair in a couple of different ways. I'm very much so a fan of keeping your foundation and your preparation for wigs very simple. If you are online and if you looked at social media sites like Instagram and YouTube, you'll see that sometimes people do like these really intricate braiding patterns. And can you guys still hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll see that sometimes people will do like really intricate braiding patterns. I'm a fan of keeping it as simple as possible. And so what I would first recommend, I want to show you a wig that is very much so trending right now in the natural hair care world. And this wig is called a headband wig. And I think the reason why it has gotten so popular is because with a lot of people doing so much of your business things and your work things and your school things, you're on Zoom. And so you want something that you can just throw on your hair and handle your business, do whatever you have to do. So people are really loving the headband wigs, and I'm going to show you guys one of my favorites that I have here. So what I typically do to prepare my hair for a wig, and again, I'm just showing you guys what my preference is. There are tons of other ways. One way would be to braid your own natural hair underneath the wig, or again, I'm a fan of keeping it simple. I'm actually just going to take my hair and I'm just going to put it back in a bun, because the headband is going to make it just so that I have to do very, very minimal to my hair. So if you're braiding your hair, then I always will recommend just kind of laying down your edges a little bit with a little bit of edge control. And edge control is going to just make the front of your hair really sleek. You know, we all know that if you have naturally curly hair, you want to just tame those little hairs that are in the front. So I'll just put a tiny bit of edge control in the front, and I'm just going to brush that in using a toothbrush. So in terms of products that you'll need to prepare your hair, just a little bit of edge control. And again, this is a very simple DIY way. You know, if you really look at how popular wigs have become, people use a lot of different products, whether it's got to be glue or, you do a wig cap, and people do things like, you know, melt the lace. All of that's fine. I just want to show you guys the most simple way. So this is the way that I'm going to be sharing with you guys tonight. Here's the headband part of it, right? And then this is a naturally textured wig. And I'm just gonna comb it out. I hope you guys can see the texture. This wig has been made to mimic naturally textured hair that has been blown out. It also has a little bit of highlights in it. So that's another thing that I like about wigs, is that if you always wanted to play with color and maybe you're afraid to color your own hair, you can always try a wig and then you can play with color a little bit. So here's the headband. Here are the combs. And it also has a little snap here in the back, okay? So just gonna go ahead and put this one on. And again, I think the reason why these headband wigs are really trending right now is because people just love the fact that you have to do so little to your hair. You can just put the wig on. It comes with the headband, so there's very, very little for you to do. Now, as you can see, as I'm positioning the wig on, I am putting the combs in, and then I'm just gonna snap the wig here in the back. And then I'm sure you guys notice that my own natural hair is colored. So it doesn't exactly, it's not the same color as this wig. And I'm just gonna comb it out. And if I wanted it to be super, super sleek and straight, I could flat iron it some more. I could wand curl it. Oftentimes what I'll do also is around the front of my hair, if I really wanted to match the hair exactly, I will get edge control gel that has a little bit of black coloring and pigment to it. And I will put a little bit of this around my edges, and this will help my hair to match the wig hair. Okay, so again, this is a kinky blown out wig, headband wig, very, very trending right now. And what I'm going to show you guys next is a big curly wig and how to style a curly wig. But before I do that, if you guys have any questions about this wig, or questions about preparing your natural hair for the wig, or questions about transitioning to natural hair, I can take some of those questions before I show you guys a big curly wig next.
Yes, there is a question. There's two questions, it looks like. A patron says that she has permanent dye in her hair right now, and has been going gray since she was 18. She's now almost 60, and obviously there's dye. And she said that she can't wash her hair every few days. And touch it up. What do you, she touches it up every few weeks, it looks like. She wanted to know, what do you suggest to control the vital hair without dyeing it so often? The color.
What do I suggest to, I'm sorry, repeat that?
To keep the color vibrant, I think it's what they're saying, is without re-dyeing the hair all the time.
To keep the gray covered black?
Yeah, I think that's what she's saying. Yes, just basically the hair has been dyed, it looks like, and she wants to know, she can't always keep re-dyeing it. What is the best way to keep the color vibrant without it having to re-dye the hair all
Okay,
all the time?
so covering gray hair, I'm very familiar with this because I actually do have gray hair and I do color my hair very often. Typically I color my own hair probably about every 6 to 8 weeks because I don't like the gray. In between my color, I do a couple of things. One would be to use a product like this, a gel that has a black pigment on it, and I can use that just to touch up areas that I'm looking to color. And then I also, now this isn't the color that I would normally use in between my root touch-ups, but this is by a company called Madison Reed. And it is basically makeup for your hair. The color that I use is black. I don't have my black right now. I usually actually carry that one in my purse in case I want to cover a grays. But it's a black makeup powder and it comes with a little brush, and you just do that and you can fill in those little gray hairs. I do know that there's also like little sprays on the market that you can use to cover those grays in between your color surfaces. Shampoo wise, if you just want to keep it nice and vibrant, you could use Shimmer Lights. That's a shampoo that will help to keep your grays vibrant. So between that, the gel that has a little black pigment to it, the Madison Reed powder for your hair, and then the sprays that are out on the market, those are some of the three things that come to mind right away.
Okay, and then there's one more question, and it's about the edge control. The patron wants to know if there's one that's safe and non-drying. What is the brand that you are using right now? Could you hold that up so people can see?
This is by Edge Effect. You can get it at any beauty supply store. Also, Cream of Nature has one. Now, this isn't the particular one that I'm using right now, but it actually looks just like this. It just says black on it. And instead of it being like, this is just a standard color, but they have one that's black. So I would recommend either the Cream of Nature or the Edge Effect. In terms of healthy ingredients, there is also one out there. There is also an edge control out by The Main Choice, and it does have biotin in it, which is really good for hair loss and hair growth issues. However, I don't know that they have one that is black. But if the ingredients are super important to you, I do know for sure The Main Choice has an edge control that has biotin in it. And I can't say that I've seen any edge control out on the market that is colored and has healthy ingredients. Not to say that it doesn't exist. I'm just not aware of it.
Okay. All right, then those are the two questions, and you can go on to your next wig that you wanted to show us.
Okay, so I'm going to take this one off. And again, I hope that you guys are enjoying being able to see different wig options. I think for a long time, women with curly hair were really resistant to wigs because, you know, the whole thing about going natural is you want to embrace your curls and you want your hair to look, you know, as natural as possible. And so a lot of the wigs and stuff that were out on the market were just really shiny European looking. And that's fine if you like that look. I own some of those wigs, so it's nothing wrong with those wigs, but I want you guys to be able to see what some of the options are out on the market for women that are interested in wearing their hair curly or transitioning. So this is a curly wig. You guys can see how big and beautiful these curls are. It is a lace front, full lace, so you can see the lace. And this is the inside. It has combs. And it also has a little snap here in the back. Now for this wig, because it is a middle part wig, I'm actually going to prep my hair by putting a middle part in my own hair. And that's just so that when I put the wig on, the part of my scalp lines up with the wig. And again, I'm keeping it very simple. If you prefer to braid your hair down underneath the wig, you can absolutely do that. I would actually recommend that. I'm just not doing it tonight because of limited time. And once this class is over, I'm actually getting ready to do my own hair. So I don't want to put any braids in it. So there's my part. And then for this one, now this one is very dark. This color is actually probably closer to my own natural color. Let me just pull the lace out first. And then I'm gonna secure it and I'll show you guys how you can make it look not, make the lace in your hair look natural. So I'm just gonna secure it. And this is a full lace front wig, which is why it looks very natural. Okay, so this is the wig on. And what I like to do with my wigs is I like to take a little tiny bit of my hair out. Something that I see a lot, which actually drives me crazy, is when people have a wig on and it's like down here on their forehead. I hate that. So what I recommend is once you have it on, take a comb and pull a tiny bit of your hair out. I don't even know if you guys can see how much of my hair out. It's such a tiny, tiny, small amount. But what this does is it makes the wig and the lace look more seamless. So again, don't set the wig like down here. Pull out just a tiny bit of your hair so that it blends a little bit better. Now, to lay this even more flat, I'm going to take a little bit of the edge control and put that here in the front. And what I'm doing is I'm brushing my hair with a little bit of the wig here. I'm kind of like mixing those in together. Now, from a styling perspective, this hair doesn't look that great. So what I like to do is to spray it with water, and I could do a couple of different things. I could just define the curl a little bit, or if I wanted to do a twist out on this wig, I could actually do that. Maybe I'll get a chance to show you guys how to do both. But again, because of time, I think I'm just going to show you how to define the curl. Now, this is just water in a spray bottle. And as I'm spraying the water, you'll see that the curls are starting to loosen up a little bit, which we don't mind kink, we don't mind coils, but we just want to make it so that the hair is a little bit more defined and a little bit more tamed. So I'm just raking the water through. You'll see that that's kind of breaking up the curl a little bit. And then if I really wanted to take some of the volume out of this wig, I could put product on it, and then I would use what's called a diffuser, which will apply with the blow dryer, which will give this, take out some more of the bulk from the hair. So this is just, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I wanted to know, is this like, is it human hair or is it synthetic? Is it safe to do with the water? Obviously yours is, but you know, does it matter when you have like the curly kinky wigs like you have right now, if it's synthetic or if it's with, you know, real hair, I guess.
Good, great question. I'm glad that you asked that. So this is a human hair wig, and there is a difference in styling options and limitations when you're dealing with synthetic hair versus human hair. Human hair, pretty much you can do anything that you would naturally do to your own hair. So this wig, for example, I could actually blow it out and flat iron it, and it will look just like this texture when I'm done with it. I could dye this hair. I can use heating tools on it. I can just do anything you can do with that you would normally do with human hair. Synthetic hair, a lot of times there are a lot more limitations. Sometimes you cannot dye it, sometimes you cannot use heat tools on it, sometimes you even have to be careful with product that you use on it. So this is a human hair, and actually, if you are transitioning and you really, we know a lot of you guys are on here because you're really into the natural hair look and that's your preference. I do prefer human hair because it does tend to look more natural. That's not to say that you can't find any great synthetic wigs out there, because I own a few of them, so they are out there. But I found that the ones that look like super natural, like the hair is going out of your head, those tend to be human hair. So I hope that answers your question. So that's one side. If we don't have any other questions, then I am going to show how to do a twist out on this side. And then I want to put a little bit of product on here also. Do we have any other questions?
No. Anybody who has any questions, make sure you use the chat box. And then I will make sure that I will let Ms. Odem know about that. So remember to use the chat box to ask questions. And if there isn't any, then I'll let her continue with her presentation.
Okay, so we can see the difference between this side and this side, both still beautiful, naturally curly. This one just has a little bit more bulk to it. So if I wanted this to look like a twist out, that would be very simple. I'm gonna just take the water and spray the hair first, just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. And then I will use some leave-in conditioner. This is the brand that I prefer. It's called Curls. You can use this. You can find it at any Target or Walmart. It's a Black-owned hair care brand.
All right, we do actually have one more question about the twist out that you're doing. Should it be on wet or dry hair?
I like to do my twist outs on I like to do them on wet hair. If you do them on stretched hair, a lot of times women that are natural have shrinkage, and so sometimes you might prefer to do it on hair that is dry, because it stretches the curl out a little bit. So that's one of the benefits of doing it on dry hair. I like to do mine on hair that's damp. But it's no right or wrong. It's just preference. And if you are concerned about shrinkage, then probably if your hair is dry, maybe you stretch it out a little bit with the blow dryer. You might like the way that looks a little bit better, because it's going to stretch out your curls, and that'll take care of any concerns that you have about shrinkage. So I'm just going to section it. And we talked a little bit about this in the first Zoom, how that when you're dealing with your own natural hair, you want to make sure you section it, because sectioning the hair is what can make it a little bit easier for you to manage it. So I'm just going to take one section here, split it into two, and then double strand twist it. I'm just twisting the strands around each other. So just A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Just gonna go all the way down to the end. And then, as you guys know, you could actually leave the twist in for a while. This is a great style for your own natural hair. And then when you take the twist out, you'll have like a very defined curl. So that's one of the benefits to doing a twist out, is it keeps your hair, your own hair nice and detangled, as well as it will help to define your curls. So there's our twist. And again, I can just leave this in, or I could take it out, hence the term twist out. How are we doing on time? I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So it is 6:32 right now. But we did
Okay.
have that little glitch. If you want to do it, you know, for maybe about 5 more minutes, and you know, if we could ask any questions. Okay, you know what? There's actually one question right now. She said there's a person that wanted to know, should I start twisting from the back, or I'm assuming the front as well? Where should you start twisting when you're doing your twist out? Doesn't matter.
The back of the
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
It really doesn't matter, especially if you have prepped your hair by sectioning it. Like my daughter right now, I just shampooed her hair and I put her hair in 6 sections. So she's got 3 sections on this side and 3 sections on this side. It really doesn't matter if you start at the front or the back. There's no benefit. It's just personal preference.
Okay.
So I'll go
Um,
ahead and do one more twist while you're asking your question, just so you guys can see what a twist, a double strand twist is. And you could use a leave-in conditioner. You could use, let's see, this is called a twist and shout cream. You could use something like this. For this type of wig, because I don't want to weigh the hair down, most likely I would use like a gel or a mousse. Those would be great.
okay. How much time does it generally take to do a twist out on a wig or on your own hair? I'm assuming with bigger sections and it takes less time, and the smaller sections then it's, you know, it takes more time. Does it particularly matter? But also, you know, how long would it take, for instance, all of the hair on that particular wig? How long would it take to do a twist out on that? But like just an estimate.
On this hair, it probably would take me, if I did medium sections, maybe an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay.
But as you mentioned, if I did super small sections, it could take me 2 hours.
Okay.
If I did large sections, it won't take maybe an hour. My personal favorite is I like to do flat twists, because those you just plait the twist to the hair in larger sections and you kind of get a very similar look. So it really depends on the length of your hair, the thickness of your hair, and the size of the twist. All of that makes a difference in terms of how long the process could take.
Okay, we have one more question. What should you use on the ends of your twist out to keep them from unraveling? I know some people use rubber bands at the very end, but how do you keep them from like loosening back up and you having to retwist them again?
You can always go back, and like when I'm at the salon and I'm doing twist out, I usually at the ends, first of all, I make sure that I've combed it out really, really well. Because a lot of times if you combed it out, then you're kind of manipulating the hair to not be as curly. And I'll typically take an extra pump of mousse or whatever I'm using, and I'll just really saturate that in and kind of smooth the hair while I'm twisting. So that's one thing you could try. The other thing you can try, which I actually love the way that it looks, is you could try a rod. You could twist the hair all the way down, and then once you get down to the end, put the hair on a rod, and this hair is not going anywhere. You could do that as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
So if anyone please have any more questions, then let me know. We have maybe about 2 or 3 more minutes. Ms. Odom, if you want to just tell us something else about twist outs or whatever you want us to know about, you know, natural hair, any more tips that you wanted just to mention if you forgot from the last session.
Yeah, so just want to reiterate that you guys have done a total of 3 classes. Thank you so much for the NASA Library for having me. And I know that technically, since we're talking about wigs, it's not caring for your natural hair, but these are naturally textured wigs. And so if you are thinking of transitioning, Or if you just kind of want to give your hair a break, you know, we call these low manipulation protective styles, then I wanted you guys to see what some of the options are in terms of styling, and then just in terms of quality. If you really want to learn more about caring for your natural hair, then I would highly recommend you go to YouTube and watch classes 1 and 2. I had a model in both of those classes. In class 2, we talked about shampooing your hair and steam treatments. And then in class 1, we talked about some of the tools that you can use, as well as techniques for managing your hair. So not everyone may do wigs, not everyone may be into wigs, but you know, I firmly believe that every woman should have options. You know, just like when it comes to your makeup, you gotta have your red lip, your nude lip. Same thing for your hair. You may want to be able to switch it up. You might want to be straight one day, you might want to be curly the next day. And so why not, you know, learn about options and learn how you can style your options. And yeah, so you guys, if you're really interested in seeing different types of wigs and how I style them, I would recommend you guys follow me on Instagram at Rachel O Beauty. I do have a lot of different pictures up there with different styles of wigs. You may not be crazy about this one. You may prefer longer hair. You know, that again, these headband wigs are so popular right now. Or you may prefer like shorter hair, like this one is a bob, a naturally textured bob. So
Okay.
I wanted you guys to just see what your options are and show you what's the best way to care for them and style them.
Okay, one more question, and I think this should be the end of the class. There's a patron that wants to know, how do you keep your hair from looking matted, and especially in the back when you're starting to go natural? I think in your previous classes you had told us that there's different type hair and different sections of your head. So maybe one section looks fine and the other one wants to, you know, not look well. So this person wants to know, how do you get it from looking not, you know, just kind of clumped there or matted is the best way just to put it.
So one thing that's going to make your life a lot easier is just to make sure that you keep your hair detangled. If you don't comb your hair often, which I literally see this every day at the salon, women that wear their hair naturally curly are just notorious for not combing our hair and not shampooing it as often. I know, because I'm guilty myself. But really keeping your hair detangled is going to be your best friend as much as you can. And then when you detangle it, your tools are going to be important, covered in class number 1. And then I would recommend something called the LOC method. So that means that when you come across your hair and it's thick and curly like this, right? You want to detangle it with the wide tooth comb or your fingers. And then from a product standpoint, if you layer your products on, that is going to help smooth the hair, and it's going to help you detangle your detangling process to be much easier. So the LOC method is where you use a leave-in conditioner. You put this on first, then you follow that with a little bit of oil, and then you use a cream. And what that is going to do is it's going to seal in moisture, and as well as it's going to give each section all of the moisture and sleekness that you need to be able to tame your curls a little bit better. So think about your tools, think about your technique, and think about trying the LOC method.
And one more question. So I think a lot of people are worried about shrinkage, like your hair just shrinking up, even when you're, you know, doing the twist outs. I know a lot of people the way that I'm trying to explain it is it okay for it to shrink I mean, that's your natural state after it gets dry anyway, is to shrink anyway. Is it okay for that to happen? Or do you need to keep, I know you were saying it like last few sessions, to keep water in it in order to keep it hydrated. So how do you feel, how do you get someone to understand that it's okay to have shrinkage when it's dry?
Shrinkage is okay. I definitely understand that it's annoying because if your hair is here, but it only looks like it's here, and you really want to show off those inches, the length that you have, then you're like, damn it, oops, I'm sorry. You're like, this shrinkage is getting on my nerve. So I completely get it. I think every woman that has naturally curly hair, shrinkage is just like, So you can do things like banding your hair. You can do things like using a little bit of heat on it, stretching it out. Braiding hair definitely stretches the hair out. Or you can just choose to embrace it and wear your hair in its naturally curly state. I love a big afro. And I find that hair that has a lot of shrinkage, those are like the most beautiful afros to me. However, I understand that not everyone loves that look, and you may just not, it might be something you really don't like about your hair. So again, try some of those techniques that I just mentioned, as well as products. There are products out on the market that are considered anti-shrinkage products. I don't have a lot of really good things to say about them. Now, that's not to say that they don't work, because I'm just one professional, and someone else out there may have tried them and feel like they are just awesome and they work for them. If that's been your experience, then by all means, if it works for you, continue doing it. But if you really would like to try to combat some of that shrinkage, I do know that there are products out on the market specifically for like anti-shrinkage products. So definitely go check out your Target and your Walmart and see what you can find, as well as using some of the techniques that I just mentioned. And you should have some success with that.
Okay. All right. There are a lot of people saying that you're a great teacher and the session's been very informative. So thank you, Miss Odom. I appreciate everything. Just so you guys know that the first two sessions that Miss Odom presented are right now on our YouTube page, and you can find that by going to our website, which is mapld.org, and you'll be able to get to our YouTube page that way. This will be up on the YouTube page, I would think by next week. So all three sessions will be up there. If there's no more questions, thank you, Ms. Odom. And like I said, people are very happy with your teaching style, and just thank you so much for all of your help with this particular program.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. You guys stay in touch. If there's any way that I can offer you further assistance or do a consultation, feel free to follow me on social media. Let's be friends there too. I'm here to serve and support. And I thank you guys so much for watching. As always, wear your mask and wash your hands. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right. Bye, Ms. Odom. Thank you so much, everyone. Like I said, check our website, our YouTube page, and all of the three of the sessions should be up by next week. Thank you.